About 5 or 6 years ago, I decided that I loved bread so much I wanted to start making my own from scratch. So I decided to teach myself using cookbooks and blogs and various websites and magazines that I found. And my boyfriend at the time, now my husband, suggested that I started a blog to document the process, and the name, the littleloaf.com, seemed kind of the obvious name to pick because of my nickname. I've always loved baking. Like when I was little, my mum used to encourage me and my brother to make our own birthday cakes. So every year we'd make the first letter of our name. So I had a big K and my brother had a big M that we'd bake and kind of put our own touch on them. And it's something that I still do now, but I think it's probably not until I was in my 20s and I had my own space and my own kitchen to be able to experiment with cooking that I really got into it. Every week I'll publish a new blog post. I love coming up with the recipes, and I'll sit down at my kitchen table and I'll have an idea, and then I'll do some research. I'll look in some old cookbooks. I think I often use cookbooks for inspiration, but also looking at other people's blogs and places like Pinterest and Instagram. You sort of see things that give you an idea that you can then turn into something that's your own. And like when I started off, it was just kind of my mum and my husband reading the blog, and now there are people who actually tweet me on Instagram and tell me that they've made my recipes within a few hours of them going live. So you kind of have that responsibility to test them and make sure that they really work and that they're all recipes that you really love before you put them online. Again, the book was really inspired by the idea of making everything from scratch. So it was those recipes that I loved from when I was little, the things that I remembered making with my mum, so treacle tart and chocolate birthday cakes and things like that, but also the treats that we weren't necessarily allowed, like the biscuits that you buy from a shop, which my mum always kind of said that we weren't allowed to have. I'm never going to stop cooking and baking. I absolutely love it, and I think now that we've got a little loaf of our own on the way, it's even more important not just what I put in my body while I'm pregnant, but also what he'll eat in the future, and kind of feeding my family and feeding my loved ones around me. And it's something that I'll always continue to do. I mean, I'd love at some point to write another book, and I'll definitely continue writing the blog. I kind of got a whole community of readers and blogger friends and people that I talk to on a regular basis about cake and eating and just sort of the joys of food. So yeah, that's something that I definitely will always want to continue with.